Thank you for watching Ben Television. The program is You Decide. We give you facts, information, and analysis. But at the end of the day, you decide. I'm so glad you're watching. My name is Shegun Johnson, and today is special to us because in the studio, we have all the way back from Nigeria, our own man, Youdecied Azu, after a wonderful time seeing his father off. Youdecied, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. It's my great pleasure back there again.
Yeah, how was Nigeria?
Well, as usual, hot, moody, dry.
Did you spend some money?
Well, you don't go to bury your father in the village without emptying your pocket and your account. Because everybody that has nothing, and even had, they all come looking for something from you.
We saw the clips, and we're glad you're back.
Thank you.
In the studio, especially today, we have the presidential candidate for years. You've had years. I'm talking of no other person but Dr. Youdecied. Alisa, you're welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah, our guy said we're glad to have you, and we're going to ask you a few questions. You don't mind taking questions from our viewers?
Well, I guess they're free to.
Okay, you're free to ask him questions. By the way, he's going to be leaving at some point because he has got some other issues in other places. But please do call in and ask him questions. Last but not the least, our own man, Otumba Bode Oseni. Otumba, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Doc, and good morning, everybody. And welcome to Youdecied, Youdecied.
Yes. We have seen so many things happen in the last 24 hours in Nigeria. The president, we're told, is about to be impeached if he did not take to certain things, demands from the National Assembly. National Assembly went into a closed-door session and came out with a communique. I just want to read a few things that Dr. Saraki read to the rest of the world, having had a joint meeting of House of Representatives and the Senate. They said the president should be careful that he will not be, he should be careful to take action to all these things. Let me just read a few. The security agencies must be given matching orders to contain all the sustained killings of Nigerians and protect the lives and properties of Nigerians, as this is primary duty for any responsible government. The systemic harassment by the executive of perceived political opponents, people with contrary opinions in the legislature and the judiciary by the police and other security agencies must stop. There must be strict adherence to the rule of law and protection for all the citizens by the president and all the appointees. Let's just stop there. But a few minutes after that, there's another group that says, no. That was personal to Saraki. Saraki, you are on your own. We love Buhari, and Buhari should be left alone. You go and answer the charges leveled to you against you by the Inspector General of the police. That is where we are at the moment. And we just want to know where you are. Do you believe the story of the police concerning Saraki? And do you believe that this new development of trying to impeach President Buhari has been due to the wranglings of the National Assembly and the executive? It's a very deep one, and we want to listen to you. And first of all, let me ask my colleagues. Youdecied, you just returned from Nigeria. From your viewpoint, what do you think is happening?
I think Nigeria is in a state of comatose. Nigeria is in a position where, if time is not taken, is standing on a tickling time bomb. And if allowed to explode, Nigeria will be compared to what happened in Venezuela. It's going to be a major crisis, a major mistake by our present leaders. One thing we have to understand is this. Impeachment process is a tool in political system that is used to checkmate the president by the legislature. The process of using impeachment to bring the presidency and the executive arm to order is a process that is managed within a systemic structure. And when it becomes apolitical, then it becomes irrelevant. And this is the case in Nigeria. in the last 16, 17 years, there have been over 12 or 15 impeachment processes from Obasanjo to Yaradua to Jonathan. Even in this present dispensation, in the last 3 years, there have been almost 5 different impeachment processes, even to the last point when they tried to impeach the president because of the $495 million arms jet purchase. This whole thing about impeachment has never been taken serious by Nigerian politicians, especially the legislators. When you come to politics, the citizens have a right to recall legislative elected members through the process of elected member recall by vote of no confidence, which will be passed within the constituency membership. But for the citizens to be able to recall a president, it's only going to be carried out through the legislative system, which is the right of the legislatures on behalf of the citizens to call the president to order. And if he refuses to come to order, just like President Saraki pronounced in the House, and for somebody to come back now and say that Saraki is speaking on for himself, is abhorrent.
But that's part of the system, isn't it?
Because when Saraki finished the speech, he asked the House if they are in agreement with the pronouncement. And he asked them to vote for it. And they said yes. When the majority voice say yes, that means the whole House agreed with what he has pronounced, which is a template towards an impeachment process if the president does not concur to or the whole announced process.
Okay.
So it's a very critical moment. But what I dislike in this whole thing is that when it becomes a political gimmick, then there is no life in it.
What do you mean gimmick? Is it because Saraki is in the hot boiling oil? Does that make it a gimmick? So it's tit for tat.
It's tit for tat. If you remember during Obasanjo time, because of impeachment, the Senate had over 5 different Senate presidents within his 8 years in office. Why? Because there was money exchanging hands. Ghana must go was moving around. The only period, well, if alleged, but in reality it was happening. There's no allegement in that. It was happening really there.
Okay,
in the 8 years of Obasanjo, there was money moving hand. But the process here now is that Buhari and his team are hodling the money to negotiate with the legislators.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Everyone knows you as Ali Shoyode, and we want to ask you, of all these things going on, and you are seeing it, and you are saying, perhaps I could do it differently, or let me just say, what's your take on this National Assembly versus the executive?
Well, thank you very much. It's something that from the early days of the administration has been on and still ongoing. It's not going to stop until the end of this administration. Because if you remember, their output and their look basically is for Saraki, most likely not to be the Senate president. Somehow he played his own politics and he got there. It was a major coup against the presidency that event took place. Many of the senators from those early days were really upset about it, especially those who were committed members of the APC party. They were upset and angry about it. And somehow, while they were waiting to see how they can repay him, and the Senate president never shied away from still being in front of them saying he is the Senate president.
Yeah.
So somehow you can see that barrier and that issue that is going to be there until the end of this administration. So the second thing here is to look at who is suffering. The people suffering now are the Nigerian people, the electorate. This 24 million, 25 million that elected APC into government, they're the ones that are suffering. Then the remaining 12 point something million that elected the PDP, they're the ones suffering. And then those that really suffer more are the remaining 35 or so million Nigerians who registered and refused to vote for one thing or another. Collectively, the so-called Nigerian population of almost 180 million are suffering because there's no direction precisely, even though the government is in majority in the Senate, they're in majority in the House, yet they are not able to come together to give a defined direction to the Nigerian people. And of course, Nigerians must be grateful that the next election now is coming, it's already here. And it's for them now to decide, do we want to continue with this kind of process whereby there's no direction, yet you have the best drivers in charge, you have the people, the presidency come in to say he's fighting corruption, unemployment, making the economy strong, but even the budget has not yet been passed by the members of the National Assembly. There are major issues. So technically, we need to redefine what do we want to achieve going forward.
Yeah, the budget, I understand, the National Assembly has not released the figures, but they have packaged something to the presidency. We don't know what they have packaged. They are not even telling us what has been, and the president has not signed it. But I want to ask you a question because of the position you are right now to Nigeria. They're watching you. I just want you to know that the whole 180 million people are watching you, how you will address some of these issues. In the last 3 years of this present administration, the friction between the legislature, executive, and judiciary has been so heightened that we've never seen this kind before. The judiciary has been brought down by the presidency, saying that they are corrupt, and some have been sacked, some, and so many things are going on in the judiciary, and heightened by the executive. The executive and the legislature, they've been at this loggerhead. Do you see from your position, vantage position, a friction that can be corrected when you get there, if you get there?
By God's grace, I don't think I'll allow such things to happen. I definitely know how to mediate. I know how to interact with people. And for the benefit of the people that I hope to represent, I will not allow such things to happen. I'm basically thinking and looking forward to making Nigeria a better and a greater nation. Whatever it may take for us to negotiate before coming out in public, to begin to disgrace our nation, to begin to make our people suffer, will not be allowed under at least our own leadership. My understanding basically is you negotiate to provide a good sounding for your people. And that's the reason why I'm actually aspiring and joining the race. Because at the end of the day, when we look at this bigger picture and we're saying we need change in government, change in leadership, you have to look at what are the options available to you. If it's only President Buhari that is standing, then we have no option. If it is President Buhari and Atiku standing, then we have no option. If people want to say, why me? The question is, who else do you have that want to start?
All right, we'll still come back to you. Please, you can call us. The number will be on your screen. And if you want me to read your email, make it to nigeriansdecide@yahoo.com, and I'll be in a position to read your email. Otumba, Saraki led the National Assembly yesterday to read the Riot Act to Mr. President. And will you say that of our people, some of them are supporting Saraki. They came out in protest. Some of them are against Saraki, that it should be probed. Now, keep that question in mind because you are going to answer it as soon as we come back from this break. Don't go away, we'll break right now, but stay with us.
Hi, my name is Rose Peter Graham. My show is coming on soon on Ben Television Live.
It will penetrate the soul of nations to bring you sizzling stories.
We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things. You think about it and beyond your imagination.
Trending news.
And talking about people, I love people.
In the lighter mood.
There's a lot of people, culture to learn, their tradition.
It will provoke controversies, but will stick to the facts.
You know, things just spring up and happens like that. Not what you're expecting. Of course, I love to do the unexpected.
When you see it from all sides, then it is Rose on all sides.